What is up, everybody? This is AdRob, and in this video I'm going to try to convince you guys that 5 is not a bad map and is actually one of the better innovative maps in Call of Duty Zombies. Now this may seem a little random to you at first, but I think that 5 is actually one of the most underrated maps, and I feel that I need to prove it to you guys because most people don't like 5 or see it as a very bad map. So first off, let's look at this map's biggest two weaknesses. Its first weakness is that it's extremely difficult, and that turns a lot of players off automatically. There are a lot of tight corridors, not many good guns off the wall, and the box is buried deep in the basement, which is basically unsurvivable after round 5 or so. Well, since it's such a hard map, it must have a really good wonder weapon to counter that out, right? Wrong. The Winter's Howl is placed in this map, which has only been seen in this map and the redone version of Verrucht. It hasn't gotten a callback because, well, it's not very good. It freezes the zombies over time, making them more easy to kill, but that doesn't really help too much. It's basically a less effective version of the Shrink Ray from Shangri-La. So wait, if I'm trying to tell you guys that 5 is a good map, why did I start the video by naming the two things that are most wrong with it? To answer that question, let's look at one of the most popular maps in Zombies history, Mob of the Dead. Now, Mob of the Dead is a fan favorite map for a good reason. It does a lot of things right, but there are some shortcomings. First off, it is pretty hard, and this does turn some people off, but it's not nearly as hard as 5 is. That being said, there are a lot of tight corridors and not too many guns off the wall that you can use. But in a map that's pretty hard, there's gotta be a pretty good wonder weapon to counteract that, right? Once again, the answer is no. As much as everyone loves the Blundergut, it's just not a good wonder weapon. It's a fine shotgun and it gets the job done when it comes to killing zombies quickly, but it's not wonder weapon material. That's all it really is. It's a glorified shotgun. So what I'm getting at here is that 5 has the same major weaknesses as one of the best maps ever, Mob of the Dead. To be fair, yes, the Blundergat is better than the Winter's Howl, and 5 is more difficult. It's still the same principle though, even if it's less glorified. Okay, so what else is bad about 5? Well, the zombie boss in this map, the Pentagon Thief, is kinda ridiculous, and if he steals your gun, it messes up your whole game. Not to mention the fact that he leaves you kind of helpless against zombies in the next couple of rounds, because he takes a big part of your zombies kit. This is actually an easy comparison to the Panzer Soldat boss from Origins. He just kind of drops into the map every 5 rounds or so and just messes you up. He's extremely overpowered and downs you almost every time. And if he does down you, then you lose all your perks and it messes up your whole game and leaves you kind of helpless in the next couple of rounds because your perks are a big part of your zombies kit. This one's a bit of a stretch just because the Panzer Soldat is just a normal overpowered boss, whereas the Pentagon Thief does steal your gun, which is a unique trait that no other boss has. But that can be seen as a good thing as well, because when maps aren't unique, zombies can get pretty boring. So let's switch gears now and look at the DEFCOM system on this map, one of its brighter points. What the DEFCON system does, if you're not aware, is when you activate all 5 in the war room, it opens up the Pack-a-Punch room. Now, a timer starts in which you're completely safe in the Pack-a-Punch room, and nothing can harm you. However, when the timer runs out, the doors open, and zombies begin to spawn within the room. Now, this not only reminds me of the Golden Gate Bridge from Mob of the Dead, where you have a certain amount of time before you get swarmed, but it also reminds me of Kino der Toten, where your Pack-Punch room is completely invulnerable to zombies for a certain amount of time. Now, the idea of a safe Pack-Punch room isn't that insane, it's not that big of a selling point, but the idea of a safe room in general is very intriguing. For example, on Kino or Mob of the Dead, if you get downed next to where you can teleport or fly to your Pack-a-Punch room, and you get up and you have no perks and you're basically surrounded, you're going to hit the switch and go to the Pack-a-Punch because it's safe. This is something that you can't get on maps like Doris, Ascension, or Moon, where there's no save point, there's no panic room, and that's an interesting part of gameplay that's taken out of those maps. Now, like I said, if all zombies maps were the same, zombies would get very boring, so that's a good thing that this panic room idea is not in every map, but the fact that it's in 5 is definitely a pretty good selling point. especially when the map itself is very difficult. So I don't quite think 5 is a bad map, I just think it's very innovative, but maybe a bit ahead of its time. If they had waited till Black Ops 2 to make something like this, I think it would have been much more well received. Mainly because in Black Ops 2, maps with the same weaknesses were forgiven much more easily. So I hope you guys found this interesting. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section, what you think of this map 5. If you enjoyed the video or found it interesting, please hit that thumbs up button down below to show your support. And if you enjoy my videos and you have not yet done so, please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot. Till next time, I'm ADRob. Peace.